Hey all, it's Alex here of The Mad Cartographer. If you've not seen me before, this is what I look like. Hey. Um, this is the first of our What a Mad Week, because I like to brand things. That's my bag. Um, this is going to be a weekly roundup of the stuff that we've been working on, and also looking forward, like over the next weeks, for the theme of the things that we're going to be doing. A lot of the times we're doing stuff behind the scenes and you guys have no idea what we're doing. The people in the Discord who talk to us most days, they generally do. Everybody else, you're kind of like, kind of plodding along and you just kind of see when we put stuff out. So this is hopefully going to be a roundup at the end of every week saying, hey guys, this is what we've released and what we're also working on. Because we're going to stop posting every time we release something. I don't think people are always reading them. I think it gets a bit spammy, particularly when we're going to be starting to put out more content. So if every time I'm posting you're getting an email notification, then I don't think you need it. In general, people don't need to access our stuff the moment it's out. So the content schedule will still release. We'll release stuff as and when it's done. We're just not going to announce it. So if you're on the ball and you're updating your Foundry VTT content or you're checking out whether new assets have been uploaded, then it will all be there. But otherwise, we are not going to be making a Patreon post every time about it because it just takes so long and there's better ways for me to spend my time making content. So, for this first What a Mad Week, we're going to showcase a few things. Stuff that we mentioned in the Patreon post earlier last week. When we announced the new theme, which this month is going to be Adventures. There's been none yet because we've been trying to catch up and finish off the Endless Wizards Tower, which we did last month. So now that we've put out the last map for that theme today, which was Colour of Light by Dragon's Horn Studios, that is now available. This was an Endless Wizards Tower that we've created, and so far we've done 20 floors, which was cool. It still ended up being a little bit shorter than I wanted to, but that's because we started working on other stuff. Primarily this thing that you're looking at, thinking, hey Alex, how about you shut up and show us what the hell this is that we're looking at. So this is a web application, browser-based app that Stefan has made. He has a version of this on his other Patreon, The Crafty Dice, but not to this level, not been updated as much, and this is something that we are going to be pushing very hard with the Mad Cartographer. At the moment, it is still very early days. It is just for the Wizard's Tower. At some point, we are hoping to make this, our map builder for you guys using our assets. Early days. Bear with us, don't make me overpromise anything. But for now, the Endless Wizards Tower version of this is ready. It is available to all the things patrons. There will be a link in the text below. There will be a link on the Wizard's Choice theme master list as well for Patreon. You will log into this with your Patreon account and it will detect whether you are all the things. And if you are, then you can use it. And if you're not, then hey, why not consider increasing your pledge, because you get so much more content at all the things, especially, as we're starting to push out more and more stuff. Anyway, let's chat. Let's see what this is all about. This is our Endless Wizards Tower. This is our editor for making your own wizard floors. We have some different variations on this. You can use the maps that we've already made. So if you wanted to take the Void Ritual made by Kelfasil's Tales, or if you wanted to do the Griffin's Eyrie, or you wanted to do Lone the Hermit, which, we've got some cool maps. We've got the most up-to-date currently is the Terrorium, which we did with Torchlight Press. We have the mazes and the recent today's Colour of Light to also add to these. We're going to be putting in the empty floors as well. And essentially you can choose, a pre-existing map or one of the empty ones, and then you go to props and we've got thousands of props in here that you can decorate with, and you can just drag and drop them in, and then you can move them around, and you can rotate them, and there's just so much stuff that Stefan has done with this. This ain't me. This is Stefan. I think we'll all agree that possibly the best decision I ever made was bringing Stefan into the fold. So you've got loads of different placements that you can do. You can scale stuff. If you scale up, it's never going to look great. If you scale down, it will hold a lot better. Scaling up, I mean, they were designed at a certain level, so anyway, you have to be careful with stuff like that. And we have got a ton of assets placed in here, more than we have released as just asset form. They will be going onto the cloud, so that you guys can access them outside of this map editor. So there's loads of different stuff. There's no rhyme or reason to which ones we've picked. We just randomly got different ones. You know, you've got a snail if you want a snail. You know. But anyway, so you've got that. You've got the props. You've got the configuration. You can change the background. A point that was made very early on, I think, by Atropos of Founders VTT fame. He was like, "Hey, it'd be cool if we had some backgrounds that could be changed. You know, if you don't, because it was the original, just a forest background, it'd be cool to have, you know, snow, desert, yeah." And so we've embraced that and put it straight into the this editor. There is the option to put on grids, and you can choose a white or a black grid. You can you can save these as a VTT JPEG or as a PDF. Those are the options. However, that isn't even the best part. Okay, that's good. That's great. It's not the best part. The best part is the custom layout. Now, I am going to hit F5 because there's a bit of a bug sometimes when you've been messing about with the existing layouts and adding props, and then you go back. So I'm going to hit F5. I'm going to start fresh. This is version 1.0. There's a lot of features that we still want to put in. A lot of stuff that we still want to do. It's just going to take time. So the best thing about this, and I just love it every time I play with it. You go onto the custom layout. You can change the floor. You can get rid of the checkers. Choose whether you want stairs or not. For, you know, however you want to do it. Whether you want the windows, and we're going to make these individually selectable as well. At the moment, it's all on, all off, but we will let you choose which ones you want depending on positioning of assets and stuff. And then just a left click and a drag, or you can individually click. If you left click again, it's going to add into a yellow. Save changes, and it suddenly put the walls in. It's just magic, just absolute magic. So there is so much stuff that you can do. We will be making it so that you. I don't know why I keep clicking the bathroom. There's literally just toilet roll in it. There you go, toilet rolls. There's so much that you can do with this. Even with the asset placements themselves, there is a video that Stefan has done. We need to tweak it. It's, you know, there's some good information there. But there's some extra bits that I think we need to put onto it. The cool thing that he's done is if you place down like an item and then you place down something like this, and it's going to go over the top of it. However, you can change the layer. You've got a layer structure. I'm not going to go into all the details of all the features because there's other stuff I want to talk about in the video, but I wanted to start with this because it is amazing. And this is available now. So there's a link down below and you'll be able to go and check it out. And I recommend you do. Have a good play. Give us some feedback. We're going to keep putting more assets in over the month. I think we've scheduled it so that Stefan's going to be trying to get quite a lot of our assets in at the back end of the month. We've still got maps and stuff that we need to make. So yeah, so we're at kind of stage 1 with this, but it is it's just amazing. It's really, really good. For those that don't necessarily want to be using the endless towers, it being a traditional wizard thing, if you just want it to be, you know, a tower that come across your players come across in their campaign, whether it's just a watchtower, you know, or you want to make something, then now you can. Now's your chance to do that. Okay, so speaking of other stuff that we are doing this month, we have the brochure. I've not really demoed it properly. It's still not. It's closer to being finished, but this is kind of what you're going to be expecting with the brochure. It's going to be broken down. It's every map that we've made into a PDF, and it's going to be an interactive PDF. You know, all these are going to be links taking you directly to the right page, and it's just so that you guys can find the stuff that we've made. We know how hard it is to find stuff on the Patreon. Part of it is our fault because we've moved stuff around. We've constantly changed things to try and make it more accessible, but the amount of content that we've got has just made it difficult to do that. So which is why we've jumped on making the brochure. So for people coming to the first time, this will be available to everybody, Patreon or not. They'll be able to see all the work that we do. You know, they'll be able to kind of see the up close detail on the maps, then see the layout, and you'll be able to go through all the different themes just to see exactly what we've got. And everything's named. We need to kind of work out how we're going to do the file naming, whether it's going to, we might give every map a number, just so that when you go to download it, you know which one you're downloading. Because these are being hosted on MyAirbridge, we can't link directly to a download, unfortunately. You're going to have to go and find them. But the folder structure, as you'll see shortly, is going to be based on the themes, and the brochure is based on the themes, so it's not going to be that difficult to find. But yeah, so this is kind of what we are working on. There's going to be these little notifications, which is going to be red, meaning that that map is available for what is currently the mini bundle. We're going to look at renaming the tiers. I think there's some confusion with them. Green will be the map bundle, and then the yellow gold is going to be the all the things. So you know whether a map is going to be available for your tier. You know, if you like something and it's not available for your tier, then again, consider increasing your pledge. Once you start going through this and seeing just how many maps we've made in this last year, even as I was putting it in, I was quite surprised. There's little stuff that's going to be in here, as you can see, little Foundry comments, because obviously our content is very much geared towards being for our Foundry VTT. So when there is stuff that is relevant, such as, where have we got? So we're going into the urban exteriors. Here we go. So for the bandstand in Foundry, the roof of the bandstand is a separate tile that DMs can hide when their player go under the bandstand. And their players. This will happen automatically. When the canopy feature releases, something that we are going to get on top of, I'm going to give it a month before. I think we're going to start doing the canopy stuff in July, because there's a lot of modules that aren't working at the moment. Token Attacher isn't working with 0.8 Foundry, so I'm very hesitant for me myself to update it, because it means I can't do the Token Attacher stuff this month, and there is some stuff that is very reliant on it. So that just means that I can't be doing the canopy stuff this month. We'll start doing that next month, but we'll go back over certain themes if there's enough content in there that we feel is worth adding in the extra time and effort to improve the maps. I don't want to get bogged down always doing the past content. I would sooner revisit a theme and here's some canopy versions, but you know, there might be one or two that require it. And there's going to be a link, so these are just going to be direct links that take you to your tier on Patreon. We're going to be having we're going to be getting rid of the themed master list at the moment. There is a master list for every theme. There's a master list for all the things caverns, all the things forest, map bundle urban exteriors, map bundle mythic Greece. You know, so every theme is broken down into its own master list, which is available to different tiers. It's really hard to find stuff. And the reason that we did it is because the gallery feature on Patreon is so bad that if we have I think we've got close to 800 maps available now, to have them all on one master list, that gallery then becomes useless, because you can't find anything, which is why we've made the brochure, which is why we're going to put everything into one master list on Patreon. All the things tier, master list, map bundle, whatever that ends up being called, master list, mini bundle, master list. And you'll have all your links to all your stuff there. So hopefully everything's going to be a lot easier to find by the end of the month. We're really going to make a push and make a point on trying to get this stuff ready for you guys. So, speaking of, has this actually popped it up? Hey now. 1 second. For some reason that is not picking up the right thing. So I'm going to go here, change this, and there we go. So this is showing my average. So this is what we are going to be hosting everything with. There will be a link in your respective master list that takes you to your folder. There will be an all the things folder, map bundle, mini bundle. Again, they're going to get renamed. You won't be able to access each other's. We're just going to isolate stuff, and it is available where it's available. And we're going to start hosting assets and the maps. All the links that currently exist will not link. We're just going to purge everything. We're going to put everything on here for a few reasons. First and foremost, just having everything in one place is going to be easier. Making things easy to find for you is more important to us than anything else. And you have the option of us uploading stuff a lot quicker. Okay, when we make a Patreon post, having to cross-link everything is a nightmare. So this is going to be, we're going to be releasing Roll20 compressed JPEGs, because with VTT generally people seem to want the file size smaller. There's then going to be 140 uncompressed print. For those people that can handle it, you will be able to switch out your maps, you know, in Foundry or in Roll20, however you want to do it, and use the 140 print versions if you wish. For Foundry, we are going to be exporting everything, all our maps, all our assets into WebP. We should have done this earlier. So now there's a lot of catching up to do. So there's you can see that there's loads of stuff that we've got to do behind the scenes. This is why stuff just doesn't get done as quick as it does, because we're still trying to put out maps and stuff all the time. But what this is going to allow you to do, whether it's for the maps or for the assets, is when you go in, people always ask, you know, is there not just one link to download everything? Well, now there is, because you could literally just right click, you could download, you know, all of the caverns, or you could just go, hey, I want all the WebP versions, let's just download that folder, and it will make a big zip for you and download it all. Similarly for the assets, we're going to break these down into Foundry, so it's going to be the WebP, no padding, it'll be that tight to the assets, you know, where the asset is that big, that's how big the frame is going to be around it. Roll20, there will be padding, because Roll20 just has a weird way that it scales everything up to a grid square, so you need to kind of put the padding around it. Anyway, if you're a Roll20 user, you know what I mean. If you're not, don't worry about it. If you are a Roll20 user, consider using Foundry VTT. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be getting everything on here, so everything is accessible, and these are things that we have scheduled and planned out for through this month, which is why we're going to be doing adventures. You know, adventures is the big thing that we're going to be pushing out this month, because it makes things a little bit easier for me to do this other stuff and be pushing out the adventure content. And I think it's nice to, you know, you guys to have something different. Every map we release will have an adventure, or at least, you know, 1 or 2 shot encounter, you know, 1 or 2 sessions to it, I think. So there's going to be some good stuff, and it lets you guys sample some of the stuff that you don't necessarily get access to. If you're in the mini bundle or the map bundle, you know, you generally don't get access to the adventures. So, you know, we want you to be able to kind of play some of the content that we do have. But at the same time, we are doing all this other stuff behind the scenes, and so, you know, sometimes when the content doesn't come out as quick or as often as we'd like, and believe me, we just want to push stuff out all the time. This is why. This is why. It's because we spend hours and hours and hours building, you know, brochures or building map editors for you guys, so that, you know, you're getting your money's worth. You know, I want you guys to feel that with the Patreon, the money that you are putting in to support us. We want you to feel like it's worth it. And sometimes it is, and I will fully admit that sometimes it might not have felt that way for you guys. Sometimes, the complaints that we see sometimes about stuff's hard to find, we get it. We fully understand it, but we don't want you guys to ever think that we're not trying to do something about it. This is all we do, all we think about, and all we work on all the time is to try and give you guys your money's worth. So there you go. We're coming up on a good finish. 20 minutes. That was great for my first one, because there's a lot to say. The next ones are going to be shorter. Okay, a lot shorter. But I hope everything you've just seen, I hope it's been exciting. I hope it kind of gets you up to speed with what we're doing. I hope you're looking forward to getting your hands on the editor for those that can, and looking forward to just everything being a little bit more accessible. So thank you guys for giving me some time. Thank you for watching the video, and as ever, keep rolling those 20s, folks. Bye-bye. Keep rolling